was extremely poor. Heidi was the rich one.
We were 21.
She
yes,
had $1,000 saved up from working as a cafeteria clerk at the college.
Yeah, I had the money.
I had spent all my money serving a mission. I came back, I was flat broke, and my brother stole all my clothes. I had one pair of pants and one shirt. And
dang, Chuck.
I did get a job delivering pizzas.
So tell them what clothes you were wearing.
So when I met Heidi, I was actually wearing my dad's jeans. And the one shirt he didn't take from me while I was gone.
They were probably like 5 sizes too big for you,
Just 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I wish I could fit into them still. Even after losing weight. But anyway, so I think our entire wedding, including your dress, your ring, and everything, was $1,000.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. But we got married. We didn't have to either. It was because we chose to. and we were excited to start our life off together. And I was going to school, or I went to school and got a degree in history, which everyone knows is a lucrative college degree. But it was 1992 when I graduated, and the only job I could get
didn't pay anything.
Well, it paid, but the checks bounced.
No paycheck. No paycheck.
What's interesting is by that time,
both jobs. You had 2, and
well, one the checks bounced, and the other, my boss stole more money from me than he ever paid. He paid me nothing, and he stole $5,000 from my friend. Anyway, that's another story.
We have lots of stories like that.
But so, in order to make a living, I kind of became an entrepreneur, selling things at fairs and shows. You know, things that slice and dice, don't crack, chip and peel, chamois and wax, and Ginsu knives. You know, all kinds of fun stuff that you would see on late night TV. And so we went around to different fairs and shows all around the Western United States, and I would sell things and then hire people to come sell things for me. And we couldn't afford our rent, and we were traveling all the time, so we bought a 1967 Airstream travel trailer. It was 2 years older than us, and it leaked.
It was a beauty.
Only on one side, and so that was where my mattress was, the twin beds, and so I slept on a wet mattress because of the leaky windows.
Because I slept with Sarah, so he had to have the leaky side.
Yeah, so we had our first daughter.
And I think I was maybe pregnant with Mary at the time too, when this happened.
When this happened, you were just barely pregnant.
Right, so the kids weren't in school yet, so we could travel with him and go to these fairs and shows. So one day we're coming back to Washington State from I don't know where. I
think we were down visiting my parents or something in Idaho, or a family reunion or something like that.
And it was after midnight, and we're
pitch black.
Pitch black.
Misty outside, like it often is in Seattle area. It was the top of Snoqualmie Pass, you know, the pass over the Cascades. And I didn't want to pay for the campground down in the valley. So I said, let's just stay at a Forest Service campground. It's only $7. Stay at a Forest Service campground and dry camp for the night at the top of Snoqualmie Pass at a place called Tinkham Campground.
Okay, so a couple things. The area where we were headed to camp is where Ted Bundy,
the serial killer?
where he used to bury his bodies. Okay, that's 1. 2, I had on a dress because it was summer, it was July. I had on a dress, and I had on my favorite sandals. And that's all going to come into play in a little bit.
So we turn off to Tinkham Campground, and it's pitch black, no lights at all. And Heidi says, I think we missed the turnoff.
We passed a road, which I'm positive we were supposed to turn down.
And I said, oh, you just don't understand how these work, Heidi. Because we were only married a couple years by this time, or 3 or 4 years. So I said, it's a Forest Service campground, just stay to the right, everything loops around, just stay to the right, it'll be fine.
Okay, who do you think was right?
Yeah, I learned that now. So as we were driving, then she started to say, I think we missed it, and I agreed. Yeah, we missed it, but don't worry, we'll just keep going
because just loops around.
The road, I'm sure, is going to, this kind of a road will just, end up merging onto something, and we'll be fine.
But that's not it. We get to this opening.
There's a little construction area.
Yeah, and there's supposed to be a bridge that goes over.
But the bridge is out.
The bridge is out.
So now we're 50
stuck.
feet of vehicle, a 30-foot trailer, 20-foot old van. We had a seat that we bolted into the floor of the cargo van so that we could put in Sarah's car seat. And I mean, this road, the brush is hitting us on both sides of the car. So it is a narrow lane. We're a quarter, half mile down. There's no way we're backing up.
So he gets a brilliant idea, so smart. There's a logging road, and he thinks that he can, go up this logging hill and do a 3-point turn and get out of there.
I took driver's ed. I figured.
Yeah, but really,
I passed my 3-point turn in driver's ed.
This is probably the angle of the hill.
Pull up, come back, no problem. So we spin our tires getting up the hill. And then as we come back, the bumper hits.
Yeah, we're high-centered.
So I figured, well, what we need to do is we need to dig under the wheels to lift the wheels up as we back up to lift the bumper. It only had to lift maybe 6 inches.
Yeah, but we don't have any shovels or anything. We weren't prepared for this to happen. But I do have some really nice sandals.
They were really hard leather, and they were the best digging instruments that we had.
He got one, and I got one. And we started digging. I think this is about when Sarah woke up, too. She realized that we were stuck somewhere, and she's screaming in the van.
And has Dylan ever screamed so much that you see the veins bulge on his head, and they turn purple, and you think that
Sarah.
they might pop?
Mad.
That was Sarah.
Yeah.
But she's inclined. I mean, she's relaxed. And we're just stuck. So we said, hey, let's get some rocks. We'll put some rocks underneath it, and then we'll get some dirt.
Yeah, nothing worked. So.
Well, and as we were looking for rocks, I hear Heidi
I start screaming because I just found a skull in the ground as I'm digging. I know it's a skull. It's smooth and cold and scary. So
she screams, and I come over, and I look at it, and the thing is, I can't tell it's not a skull. So I first thought she was just overreacting. So now I've got the heebie-jeebies, and I get in the van. I said, get in the van as fast as you can. So she gets in the van, I get in the van, I put it in reverse, and I just back it up. And the bumper becomes a plow.
Yeah. Very cool. And it ripped the bumper and detached our
the
rear
whole
back.
frame of the trailer that was attached to the bumper detached from the rest of the trailer.
Every time after that, we would go to use the bathroom, and it would dip down and go.
And if both of us were in the bathroom, or if we were giving Sarah a bath, because it had a little bathtub, and it was kind of cool. The weight of it would leave about an inch gap between the bottom of the trailer floor and you could see daylight through the bottom of the floor from then on.
Once we got out of that turn, though, Orville, it's pitch dark, remember? Orville's telling me, I just want to back up.
It's perpendicular to the road at this point.
He says, I just want to back up till my wheels hit right here to the drop-off.
And I'll have enough clearance that I'll be able to go.
And I was like, there is no way I can tell you to stop. I can't even see the drop-off. There's no way I'm going to do that.
So this is when the argument ensues. I said, Heidi, we're going to be able to...
Wait. Also, mosquitoes.
Oh, yes.
Galore. Where do you think they were flying? Of my dress.
You know how that... You know that story that you say there, you know that adage that you don't have to be able to run faster than a bear? You just have to run faster than the person you're with?
Yeah. Okay, well,
the mosquitoes didn't even see me because her legs were like a smorgasbord. And she had hundreds of mosquito bites. And they started to welt up, and I mean, it looked like she got stung by 1,000 bees. It was
by this point, angry, mad. All I want is a shower. It's probably 3 a.m.
And I'm saying, Heidi, just stand here and tell me when not to back up any further. It's not that hard. We could pull out of here. And
that's not how it happened.
We were angry with each other.
At this point,
and it was a tough few minutes.
This is when I said, unhitch this trailer right now and take me to a hotel. All I needed was a shower now. Or you'll never see me and Sarah again.
And I said, you can't keep me away from Sarah. She goes, no, you misunderstand. You'll be dead.
All right. So he did. He took me to a hotel.
I'll blame it on Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Everything we owned was in that trailer. And so I was thinking,
We left it.
and it's not very secure. I said, how can we leave everything that we own in the middle of the forest? But we did. We had to make a decision that we would leave everything in order to stop the argument and make each other happy.
And not be bit by mosquitoes anymore.
Yeah. So we got to a hotel. The next morning, interestingly, I got there. The skull was just a stone. And the construction workers were just scratching their heads. Because this is a 30-foot trailer perpendicular to a 10-foot wide logging road. You couldn't have dropped it with a helicopter.
I'm pretty sure they were waiting for you to show up so they could see what kind of person.
Laughing. They thought I was the biggest idiot in the world. But anyway, they helped me, and we got the trailer out, and we moved on our way. Well, there's a couple of interesting takeaways from that story.
We still love each other.
Maybe it's because of that we love each other so much.
Maybe.
Because every couple, and your business has to kind of go through this as well, there are two tests that we have to go through in life, a poverty test and a prosperity test. So as couples, a lot of people think that the prosperity test is the easy one and the poverty test is the hard one. But in reality, it's the poverty test that is the easy one. And we have to go through that test to know that we will be okay, even if we have to leave everything aside, but we as a couple are going to be fine. And once you can pass that test, then prosperity can come and you can handle it. If you can't trust each other with nothing, then it's really hard to get along when you have stuff. So that was one lesson that we learned from that has been very important in our keeping our head as the blessings of Scentsy have come our way.
All right, I think also you learn that as you're on a journey, you are going to hit bumps, and during them, maybe it's not so much fun, but that you can look back and we laugh about that story now. During, no way, but now we can. And so, and I think you grow a lot through that during you're on this bump and you're growing, and then you look back and you realize how much you've grown. You see how much you've grown.
Well, and here's the thing. If we can look back on this story with fondness, then why at the time did we not enjoy the journey? Right? I mean, we could have at the time said, we will never have this many mosquito bites, or you'll never have this many mosquito bites ever again. You're setting a record. Woo!
Yeah.
Hey, look, we can buy new sandals.
We found a skull. Oh, this is awesome.
Or 21 years from now, we're going to be in a stage in Atlanta telling this story, and everyone's going to love it.
Yeah.
Right? So there are all kinds, well, some of you will. There are all kinds of opportunities to find joy even in a bumpy journey. And that's really what the theme of the World Tour is, and the theme of the catalog. Scentsy and Scentsy products are little additions to your life that help you find joy in your journey.
And I think that butterfly resembles that. You'll see it all throughout the pages. So, okay.
Right.
That's our story. We're done with that.
And that sets the theme up a little bit. But there's some of you that are new to your journey, new to the Scentsy journey. You've joined our Scentsy family since last World
February of last year.
So go ahead. Jinx.
Will you stand up if you've joined Scentsy since February of last year?
All right.
Okay, so here's how this is going to work. We're going to have some standing recognition like this throughout the day. And these guys are passing out some buttons. You guys will receive a button. Okay, you might be asked to stand again for something that you accomplished. Stand, but then sit down if you've already received a button. You get one button.
Yeah.
But by the end, we hope everybody has a button.
Okay. So once you get a button, go ahead and sit down.
Okay, look how many new people are standing. That's awesome. Yeah.
Now it's important to look at the percentage of people that are here that are new. new consultants are the lifeblood of Scentsy. It's your enthusiasm and excitement that fuels those who have been around for a long time, that share the belief that the opportunity is still alive and kicking. You know, we see Carol here. I remember Carol coming into the home office, helping us hand pour bars because we were, and ship product because we were...
And pack your own orders.
Behind. Yeah, she'd come to get her order, and we says, well, if you're there, can you help get some other orders out?
We made her work.
And it's important to see new people joining even now, isn't it? Because it brings validation to everyone else's decision to be part of Scentsy. So thank you all, new consultants.
Okay, up next, I think we're doing, yes. If this is your first ever Scentsy event, will you stand up?
All right. Now, many of the same people, obviously, but there's a few people that have been with us for more than a year, and this is the first chance you get to come to the Scentsy event. So thank you.
If you don't have a button, raise your hand. Okay.
Or the rest of you can go ahead and sit down.
Yeah.
We all got a good look to see. One of the great things that you're going to experience at a Scentsy event like this is what Scentsy really is. Because Scentsy is a feeling as much as it is a company. And at events like this, you get to feel Scentsy because of the connection with other consultants.
Okay.
So thank you for making this investment in your business.
She's back here.
There's one right up here. Josh is coming.
You, yeah, right here.
And what's great is we can tell those who attend and those who don't. And if we compare the group that attends World Tour and the group that doesn't attend World Tour that are otherwise comparable, we see greater productivity from those that attend. And we realize that it's because you get to cross-pollinate your ideas with others, you get better ideas. It's not really what you can learn yourself necessarily all the time. A lot of times it's what you can take back to your team and get your team energized and engaged.
Okay,
so thanks for that investment.
Yeah, okay. So up next is if you traveled 1 hour to get here, stand up.
Okay.
Or more. Okay, or more.
Yeah. 1 hour or more. Thank you. Okay, how about 2 hours or more? Stay standing.
3 hours or more?
4 hours or more. Stay standing.
Yeah, 50 hours.
Well, how about 5 hours or more?
She wrote a room here.
Wow, where y'all come from? Mobile? Panama City Beach? Where?
Niceville, that's the dog's job.
All right.
Woohoo!
That's a long ways.
Wow.
Pensacola. Okay.
This is awesome. Okay, if you've been here 5 hours or more, stay standing.
So,
if you haven't got a button, we'll give you a button.
5 hours or more. That's awesome. Okay. So I don't want to talk about this next one until we have people sitting down because this one's awesome. Okay, so up next we're going to talk about the incentive trip that the incentive trip period just ended, and we have some earners. If you earned the incentive trip, will you stand up? Awesome!
All right.
Yay!
Okay, there's a couple things that I'd like to point out on the incentive trip. See the little cluster back there? You're all wearing the same shirts. Is that by coincidence? Yeah, it's coincidence that you're wearing the same shirt? That's purposeful, right? Are y'all a team? Okay.
Were you guys trip buddies? Did you help each other and call each other all the time and say, how close are you on points?
Excellent. They have monthly team meetings, Facebook pages to communicate. There is a correlation between people who have trip buddies, who have accountability partners on incentive trips. So with the next opportunity for an incentive trip, make sure that whether you have a team that supports you or not, find somebody
yeah.
who wants to earn that incentive trip, and you hold each other accountable. track each other's goals, and work with each other to make sure that you are reaching those goals. Okay, if you've got a button already, go ahead and sit down. We got buttons for those who haven't got one, but you will see every event will see a cluster like that, where a whole team will earn the incentive trip. And so there's power in teamwork.
Okay, who's going to Nashville? Who's choosing Nashville? Okay. Are you choosing that as your incentive trip?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
there's
Who's
one thing
choosing
about
Disney?
Disney.
Yeah. Woo,
All right,
me
so who
too.
came to Disney with us back in, 2005 years ago? So you came here, a few of you came to Disney. Could you replicate that experience by just going down to Disney? I mean,
Or hop online.
Orlando's not very
and buy
far
your
away.
trip,
You go
buy
to
that
Disney
trip.
from Atlanta or the South quite easily, right?
It's amazing, and you guys do a great job just covering all bases of the trip, and so you just feel like a VIP to go on a Scentsy trip.
Thank you. So she's talking about, we cover all bases of it. The experience that we can provide, because we're working with the large group office at Disney World, we can do things that you can't get on an individual basis. The character breakfast, the big party that we have, the fireworks show, the preferred
magical
seating at the,
show that we had
at
that
the
one night,
light
yeah.
show and fireworks. Those types of things are opportunities
You
that
can't
you
get
can't
online
replicate.
and say, "Oh, I'm going to do that magical night." You can't do that. So
Yeah, plus covering the meals and covering all of the entertainment and tickets and the great hotels that we're in. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. So we recommend, if you're coming alone with a Scentsy sister, that's fantastic. As a couple, you can have a great time. If you can bring your kids, that's a great time. It's the only incentive trip that we do where you can bring your children. And the buy-ins are going to be released soon.
Yeah.
And particularly for those of you in the South, we've got a really good option that's going to help you attend. So
It's gonna be fun.
If you've experienced the buy-ins in the past, I think you're really going to like the buy-ins for Disney this year.
woohoo! Okay, so who is going to be in Nashville with us this summer? Woo! Okay.
All right. Now, some of you may not be able to. Well, Nashville. Let's just talk about Nashville for a second.
There's a couple things. First of all, registration will open on April 4th. Okay, April 4th.
And it is.
We don't want to cause a system crash.
Right.
But
It's at the Gaylord in Nashville, the Grand Ole Opry. We're going to have great entertainment. We're going to have great training, new product reveals. It's drivable for most of you. Okay? So we really want you to attend, because World Tour attendees do slightly better than the people who don't attend World Tour. People who attend reunion, and particularly multiple reunions, their income over their lifetime with Scentsy is so far greater than the average who doesn't attend. And a lot of times it's the people who are doing well go to reunion, but even more often it's people who go to reunion, feel Scentsy, and understand what it takes to be successful. So we really want you to come.
And it
but
does
about
make
the
a
crash,
difference in your business. Okay, the crash. Okay, we're not planning for a crash, and we're not causing a frenzy. But the venue that we have this year is a lot smaller than the ones that we've booked in the past.
It's not a football stadium.
It's not a
right?
football stadium. It's a
And
small hotel roomish like thing like this.
No, it's
So-
bigger than that, but it's but as we look at the new recruits over the last couple of years, so we had to book this a couple years ago. The last 2 years, the momentum of Scentsy is back, and we're growing like crazy. You can start to feel it, can't you?
Yes. Woo!
So-
Thanks to all you newbies.
There's a chance we're going to have to split the general sessions, and so we have rotations where some are in general sessions, some are in breakouts, where instead of all meeting together, if we hit certain thresholds, it's going to be hard to fit everybody that wants to be in the main general session, potentially. And so please register early if you're planning on coming, so we get a good idea of who's coming.
And if we need to split, do rotations.
Yeah,
We
so
need
that
to
way
know
we can make
so-
a better plan of how to deal with the crowd. If people trickle in and we make a plan, say, oh, we have enough that we can fit in the general session, and then towards the end of the registration period, a bunch of people come, then it makes it a challenge. So that first day, 2 or 3, go ahead and register if you are planning to come. That'd be fantastic. And I think we're going to have a payment plan so that you don't have to put all your money up front to come.
Okay, and I think that one of our main reasons for being here today is just to make sure that we personally invite each one of you here today to come join us in July for reunion. And what is it, July 3rd, like 3rd week of July.
Okay.
So we hope you'll all join us.
I think we should make it easier for somebody to come, Heidi.
Just one?
Yeah. So we have your registration tickets. So go ahead and get your tickets out.
One free
because
registration.
Because we got a free registration. Now, if you earn the incentive trip and you're coming...
This is transferable. So if you want to give it to a team member who maybe can't attend, if you want to choose Nashville and give this away, it is transferable. Okay, ready?
Okay, so
it's an orange ticket.
Orange ticket. So who's excited about an orange ticket?
Okay. 9. Who's still in?
6.
Woo! 5. Woo!
This will cut out a few people.
1.
6. Okay, who's in? Who's in? Raise your hand.
Who's still in? Woo!
All right.
1, 2, 3. 7.
There you go. Hey, it's one of the reasons you bring a guest. You got twice the chance of winning, right? Well done.
Awesome. Okay,
congratulations.
Make sure that you get with somebody from events today to give your name and info. Okay. Awesome. Congratulations. Hope you were planning on coming.
All right. So that's Kelly, right?
Yeah. That's
I was going to
awesome.
say, because the name's on the back. Okay. I think that
does cover it.
kind of covers what we wanted to cover.
Yeah. Thanks for being here today.
We're going to stick around through lunch. We can't get to our next venue before lunch anyway.
Because there's a snowstorm? Or what?
Or it's a long way to go, either way. But we can't get there before lunch anyway, so we might as well stay here through lunch. We'll meet as many of you as we can. We'll take pictures with you if you'd like. And then we will be heading off to another place right about 1 o'clock.
One more thing before we go. We have an amazing team from the home office that they've traveled many, many days. Will you guys come up here? All of you come up. They can hear me. This might not be all of them, but it's a majority. And gosh, these guys, how long have you been gone now? Like 8 days, 9 days?
Maybe 10
Maybe
days.
10? Yeah, okay.
How many of you have had your wallet stolen?
Yeah, 2 of them.
How
in
many of
Washington,
you
D.C.
have slept on uncomfortable pillows? How many of your children have said, "Why aren't you home
When
yet?"
are you coming home?
How many of you are saying, "Can you stay out longer, Dad?" Oh, I thought that for sure that would have happened with you, Michael. No, I'm kidding. But it's a long time away, and they have jobs also. So at night afterwards, they're on emails, making sure that their regular jobs are getting taken care of.
Well,
so they're just working so hard for these 2 weeks.
I was going to say, too, anytime it's a day off for us, maybe, these guys are setting up. So
and traveling. So we love you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you do. We want to give you a chance to thank them. All right.
Okay, and one more back there that didn't come up. So.
Okay, now we got one more
Thank
thing
you.
to do. Thank you. One more thing to do, and then we'll bring you guys up. We need to take pictures.
Oh yeah, we do pictures of you guys.
Okay, so when you're behind us, make sure you cheer. Well, you don't really have to, but we're going to get a picture of all of us because we want a picture with you too.
So
You ready?
This way first.
I'll come over on this side. Let's get the. Heidi? This group right here?
Okay, one more. Okay, wait, one more. I missed that. Okay, gosh.
All right. Well, thank you all for putting up with us. We can't wait to meet you all. But let's turn the time now over to